What's up guys, Chris here back again with a new video in the Glock 19, the ultimate custom Glock 19 build. And we are finally at the point of assembly, function test, overview of the complete gun. If you've been following this build, we started off with 5 unboxing videos. Then we had a slide assembly video, we had a frame assembly video, and we had a magazine, not assembly exactly, but upgrade video. We put a couple of parts in there. So now we're going to put the parts together. I'm going to show you the gun. We're going to rack the slide a little bit. I'm going to tell you how it feels, how it functions. I can't do it right now because it's getting late in the evening, but I will do a firing test on and off camera. I'll try to do some chronos and tell you how it feels when you're shooting it, the FPS I'm getting, and that kind of thing. So, like I've said during all of these videos, that I have had the gun fully assembled, I think 4 times by now. So I have, gone back and forth of assembling, disassembling, and made sure everything works. But what has surprised me throughout this build is that almost everything has worked out of the box. I haven't had any major issues, no fitment problems, no major fitment problems, I should say. Nothing's binding up except the magazine release button, but I can live with that. I have test fired it using Garter power-up gas, which is the 220 psi gas or 16 kilogram gas. If you're in Asia, I think they specify it like that. It's loud, it's snappy, good recoil, slide goes back and forth like really well. I mean, it's not sluggish or anything. I didn't empty an entire magazine when I test fired it, but I think I shot 20 dry fire shots and then I dumped the mag and there was plenty of gas in the magazine. So, I mean, it's looking like this is actually a viable build if you actually want to use it as well. It's not just for looks, it's going to work as a gun. You probably can't use it like in winter time, but I would say 15 degrees Celsius and up, you're going to be good with this one. So, before I put this together, let's just recap and have a little bit of a look at the individual parts. So here's the slide. This is a Garter CNC steel slide, black finish in Glock 19 specification with the markings for the KJW Glock 23 or Glock 19 pistols. We have a little bit of wear on top of the chamber already. That's fine. The markings are really nice looking. The finish of the slide is very nice, except for my sweaty fingers marking it up. One thing I do want to mention, what I've done with the slide is I covered it up in silicone with this Kyosho silicone, rubbed it in like really nicely, coated a thick coat of silicone oil, let that sit overnight, because since this is steel, it kind of absorbs the silicone oil a little bit and makes the finish that much nicer. You can see I have a really nice sheen on here. Flip it over. Just wipe it down real quick. Only issue I should say that I've had with the slide that I did cover in the slide assembly video was the extractor. I had to epoxy it in place. I also have a tiny mark right there that you can see. And we have a little bit of wear on the chamber. But other than that, the slide assembly came out great. Really, really nice. Moving on to the frame. Same thing here. No major problems. Biggest thing was I went through 4 frames. This is the 4th frame for this build. Really sucks. A couple of real Glock parts that I wanted to have in here that didn't work. Slide catch lever, no go, don't do that. Magazine release button, same thing there, not worth it. So we have Garter parts all the way through. Let's see, is this... I didn't see that. look here, on this side of the frame, the inner frame is flush with the actual frame. If we flip it over, the inner frame is ever so slightly poking out there. So I'm not sure if the frame is a little bit off on that side or if we actually have an alignment issue. Not a big deal. Like I said, I've had this assembled. The only thing that I've seen that some people, I know a lot of people like really tight fits, flush fits. I want it to look more realistic. And real Glocks have a little bit of a gap between slide and frame. So if it's tilting slightly up at the front, you can kind of tell that it looks like it's doing that. But anyway, it means that we're going to have a tiny gap up here. Hammer internals, absolutely phenomenal. Everything's steel. I have to give it to Garter here that they have done a really good job with all of the. You can pretty much, except 2 parts, that screw right there, and one of the pins and trigger. You can scratch build one of these with Garter parts only, which is of course exactly what this is. In case you haven't followed the videos, and there is no better, let's put it that way, Glock on the market that you can put together. And like I've said throughout the build videos, some people have commented like, yeah, you should have used that nozzle because it's better, or the GM Zero hammer is better, and all those things. It's partly because I know if I buy all the parts Garter, it's going to fit and work together, hopefully. All of the Garter parts are steel, and my OCD also dictates that when possible, I should get the parts from the same manufacturer if possible. So that's a little bit on the frame. Just holding it up and looking at my camera viewfinder, it's looking absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. Very, very nice. I'm super happy with how this looks. You have the gloss and the sheen and the markings there. The pins look good. Even though the locking block pin is a fake, it matches in with the real hammer pin, trigger pin, really well. Finally, we have the Garter custom Glock 19 magazine TM spec. Got the fake round indicators at the back. Real Glock floor plate. The Garter high output valve in the back, and a TM spec gas rod rubber on top. So, this is it. We are going to put the 2 halves together. I'm going to rack the slide a couple of times, back and forth. I'm going to insert the magazine, make sure it locks back with an empty mag. We're going to drop the slide with the slide release. We're going to pull the trigger. We're going to check the reset. I'm going to show you the gun like up close, what it looks like, assemble and all that. So, like I said, I've done this a couple of times, but I'm still feeling like this is it. It's done. Would be funny if it just binds up and doesn't want to work. Yeah. Holy crap. Can you see how snappy that is? There is no delay, no sluggish. Feels really smooth. I've obviously, like I said, I've had this assemble. I've racked it a couple of 100 times by now, so it's kind of broken in already. But man, look at that. You can see the gap here at the front that I was talking about. I personally prefer that. I would have preferred it if the gap was consistent front to back, because the real one is, you won't find a real Glock that has that tight tolerance at the rear of the slide. Let's pull the trigger. Yeah. Reset. Nice and crisp, audible, tactile. Here's the thing. When I've had this assembled before, one of my favorite things to do, and this is kind of, it's very specific and odd thing to do maybe, but I do this. I put the frame physically up against my ear, pretend this is my ear, and I let it reset. And there's such a satisfying metallic ping cling sound when it does that, and even more so when I pull the trigger. I'm gonna bring the microphone in close over here and do that and see if we can pick up the sounds that I'm talking about. Because I really like it, but look at this. It's really, really smooth and fast and crisp and chunky, like it really snaps into place. I was worried that I was going to have a slide that was like, and also, the thing that you have on most airsoft Glocks where it binds up tiny bit over there, over the hammer wheel, but just a tiny nudge, and it pops right off. I can just do that and it goes. So I don't have pretty much no binding of anything. Trigger pull, super nice. Reset, super nice. So the only thing that's less than desirable right now that I covered in the frame video, I believe, is that the magazine release button is kind of sticky. It's a very tight fit, so it's binding up a little bit. When you eject the magazine, it has a tendency to not, well, it's actually doing it now, which is nice. Yeah, it snaps back into place. That's good. Okay, let me bring the microphone over and we'll do a trigger audio check. So I'll do it once without holding the frame to the microphone because this is plastic and it reverberates very heavily. So I'm gonna do it like this, just a couple of centimeters away from the microphone, and we'll take a look. So racking the slide. This might be loud, so trigger reset. Trigger pull and hammer drop. Let me do that one more time. And now I'm going to actually physically put the frame up against the microphone. That's a reset, and here's the trigger pull. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use that. I'll have to check it out in post, see what it sounds like, but hopefully it's able to pick it up. Let me put the microphone back. 1 second. Let's go in a little bit closer with the camera. Whew. So, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The build is complete. The magazine release button binding up sort of sorted itself out by itself. They have that annoying tiny Dremel mark at the front. Not gonna do anything about it. I would have wished the magazine button was closer to the real one on this side in respect to how it sits and the edges. But I mean, Jesus. So all in all, let's not count the 4 frames that I used, and let's not count the KJW donor gun, which you don't really need. The total cost of this build project ends up around the $600 mark without shipping. And I used 3 different stores to get these parts. I used Airsoft Global, WGC Shop, and Rainbow 8. If you can, use Rainbow 8 primarily. They're a really good shop, they have good prices, and they're a partner with Garter. And then, you'll have to source the parts, in whatever way you can from whatever store is available to you, right? So, but you're looking at around $600 for this. Now, if we look at the alternatives, the alternative would be to buy, let's say, a Tokyo Marui Glock for, what did it retail for? $160, all plastic, and then put a metal kit. Well, it does. No, you can't really compare this to anything because this is a scratch build, full steel internals, steel slide. It's just. But I think what I got out of this for $600. I know it sounds insane to those of you who can buy real Glocks. It's like, oh, you can buy a real Glock for that kind of money. Well, here's the thing. I don't want a real Glock. I want an airsoft Glock that looks like a real Glock. And some people, the laws in their country don't allow them to buy real Glocks. It's a lot of responsibility. You have the paperwork. And, not everyone is comfortable with a real gun. I could technically, in Sweden, get a firearms license and buy a Glock 19, but that's not what I'm after. I wanted to build the ultimate, most realistic looking, top-notch, steel parts, everything, all out airsoft Glock, and that is what I've done here. And overall, I want to say, like I said, I racked this a couple of hundred times. I've had it assembled 4 times, but even still, the first assembly I did of this gun, like cold, or the first assembly without any break-in, without anything, it was already a very smooth action. I know it doesn't translate really well on video, but you don't have to worry about this being a sluggish gun or heavy or, whatever. Got the serial number plate right here. Turned out nicely. Of course, it says MDP 360. We have MDP 360 on the slide and MDP 360 on the barrel. So let's actually do sort of not in-depth overview, but a more where I tell you or show you and tell you a little bit about everything. So first up, the slide. Garter steel CNC slide. We have Glock 19 marking, Austria 9x19. I'm a little bit disappointed by how plasticky and cheap the Tokyo Marui donor sights look. If anyone knows where I can get better looking OEM style Glock sights, please let me know. On the top of the chamber of the barrel, we have the proof markings there. 9x19 on the side. MDP 360, Glock, some markings as well. Again, proof marking here. NPV, that's some sort of Austrian proof marking that it can handle overpressurized cartridges. Some people think, and I actually did so original as well, that symbol is a Chinese character that the airsoft companies put on there, but this is actually an Austrian proof marking. MDP 360 serial number. I really like that gloss and sheen that you get on these embossings. Made in Austria, Glock GSMBH. US patent, blah blah blah. Glock logo stamped in the frame. And the real Glock floor plate, base plate. Garter CNC steel slide, Tokyo Marui donor front and rear sight. All Garter internals except hop up a rubber, which is the maple leaf. I never remember if it's the Decepticon or Autobots, whatever, it's the yellow one. Steel outer barrel by Garter, steel Garter guide rod. Here's one thing, if I go and cycle the slide multiple times, what ends up happening, can you see that the guide rod is tilted down? If I push it up, so it's straight and flat sort of, if I cycle the slide a couple of times, it ends up being pushed down. And when it gets pushed down far enough, it starts affecting the cycling of the slide a little bit. I'm not sure why that's happening. Well, actually, I kind of know, because the guide rod doesn't have a pit peg that sits in the hop-up housing. It's just a flat back, so it has the ability to move a little bit up and down, and that's why it's doing it. But I'm not sure why it's doing it that much, and what I might be able to do to prevent it. So if anyone has an idea on how to maybe solve that, well, please let me know. Garter slide catch lever, garter slide lock lever, real Glock trigger pin, garter frame, garter magazine release button, garter ridged trigger, garter serial number plate, garter custom magazine, garter high output valve, garter Tokyo Marui spec gas wrap rubber. This is also a detail that I really like. On a real Glock, there's always a little bit of gap between frame and magazine floor plate. On Tokyo Marui ones and some other ones, for whatever reason, they want zero tolerance. Would that be a correct term? Everything should just be flush fit, tight fit, no spacing whatsoever. So my main dislike with this, if you will, is that the garter frame is slightly thicker, or the Tokyo Marui frame, I should say, is slightly thicker than a real Glock 9mm pistol. I do believe that, or it's been sort of confirmed, that the garter frame, Tokyo Marui frame, and also W frame, basically anything that's based on Tokyo Marui, is Glock 21 width, which is the 45 caliber, I believe. 40 is same as 9, 45 is bigger, yeah. So anyway, and I can feel it. If I have my Stark Arms Glock 19 up and I switch to this, you can feel that you can tell that it's a little bit too thick. It's not much, and here's the telltale sign. If we look at the hammer housing pin, I'm having a hard time with the light here. Let's see. You can't see it that well, but it's like the pin is slightly shorter than the frame. And on a real Glock and on the Stark Arms Glock, the ends of the pin are flush with the lowest point of the hole, the pinhole, edge. So I would say we're talking 0.75 or 1.25 millimeters total difference in width. I'm actually going to record a Glock 19 overview comparison video with this Stark Arms stock Glock 19, Stark Arms steel Glock 19, and my custom modified Stark Arms Glock 19. But anyway, I think this will be enough for the initial complete assembly and overview video of this pistol. I think you can tell that it turned out absolutely beautifully. It appears to function and work really well, very smoothly. Like I said, I have test fired it with Power Up 220 psi gas, and I was very impressed with how it felt and how it performed with that gas. I will be doing a test firing and chronoing with both regular 140 psi green gas and Garter 220 psi green gas. So let's see if I can snag a good thumbnail for this video. I think right about there should do it. It's below the play button. My logos aren't blocking anything. That's the money shot right there. And that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and the videos leading up to this video. and that you enjoyed and kind of been inspired by this build. I know I think I have 2 or 3 people already that have messaged me and said, really awesome build, I'm gonna build one like that myself, and they've gotten all of the source material that I've used for this, the Excel sheet, the product links, and the exploded view and whatnot. So definitely, if you're looking to build the ultimate custom Glock 19 Gen 3 that you can accomplish right now in terms of best parts, I'm talking full steel, TN spec internals, with some exceptions that are KJ specific. This is it. And it feels amazing. It looks amazing. I am hoping that this will, you know, have a very long and durable lifespan. Not like what you might see with the stock arms Glock, where the hammer assembly has been known to crap out pretty quickly. And you know, I just feel really confident considering the slide is steel, barrel is steel, all of the internals are steel. There is nothing on here. If you check the assembly videos, I used the magnet here. I checked all of the parts individually, and they are in fact all, or at least magnetic, and they contain iron, and they're supposedly steel. So yeah, I'm happy. This was a good build. It turned out like I wanted. It could have been a little bit better, not in terms of build, but in terms of the parts. Like I said, the width of the frame, a little bit meh. And the finish of the frame, like I said in the frame assembly video, I got some strange marks. We have a little bit right there. You can see the gloss is a little bit off, but overall, really good, really good build. And this is not, the intent of this was not to do a display piece, but the intent was to make something that could double as a display piece, but still have the strength in the internals and slide and everything to actually be used. And I have no doubt about using the Garter Power Up 220 PSI gas with this pistol, because it is all steel parts. I really can't see that anything's going to break. The only thing that might happen is that the screw post in the frame, because of the stress of the slide going back and forth, that might be impacted, but we'll have to see. Again, I don't use my guns very much. Not as much as I would like. But yeah. Anyway, I think I said some point in this video that I was going to insert shooting test, FPS, performance, and a demonstration. If I haven't done that already, I'll append it here to the end of the video right now. And we're back from the shooting test possibly, or if I already showed you that. But that's going to be it for this video. If you want to build one yourself, check the description. The links are in there for the parts and everything. If you have any additional questions, concerns, whatever, feel free to message me on YouTube or preferably my Facebook page. Again, links in the description. And I will see you guys in the next video and in the next build series. I don't have anything planned right now, but there will be more. Maybe not exactly like this, but yeah, I'm just rambling on right now. I'm a little bit Yep. Okay, I'll end the video right here and we'll fade to black, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.